Hello everyone, my name is Lysander Xanthus and welcome to my video. I wanted to talk briefly about the power of your emotions in concerns to human telepathy and empathy. When I use these words, what I mean by telepathy is and empathy is we all have energy, we all have auric fields, and so our thoughts and feelings are energies within these fields because our fields touch each other and other people, and all energy is connected. Sometimes our thoughts and feelings or the energy of them is relayed to other people and theirs are relayed to us. And so we are all exerting influence over each other all the time unless we are actively making the attempt to disengage and to have psychic boundaries between us and others. And sometimes even then the nature of our relationships with certain other people allow them to reach us anyway. So the power of emotions. This comes up frequently when I am doing readings or energy work for people, and the subject of curses comes up, or relationship cords, or other healing, or other types of issues in the aura, like wounds and so on. Frequently, people will wonder if someone who's energetically causing them harm is a practitioner of magic, or they'll be confused because that person doesn't even believe in any of this stuff. And the thing is that you don't have to believe or know anything about it or practice magic or psychicism or anything related to metaphysics in order to enact these things on an energetic level. Your emotions are so powerful that if a person has enough vitriol and a strong enough negative emotion that their energy reaches out to you and lashes out and creates the curse or ill will or bad luck or aura wounds. Likewise, there can be strong attachments between you and certain other people. If a person feels strongly enough about another person, their energy will respond to their feelings and reach out to that person and sort of like grab onto them. I've actually seen that in a sense where there's an individual who feels very attached, especially romantically, to another person, either an ex or someone they're not involved with. And because of the strength of that feeling, they feel that there must be more there. And when I look at the energy, what's actually happened is that person, through the strength of their emotions, has created a relationship cord or an attachment where their energy is like grabbed onto the person who's trying to pull them to them. And sometimes the other person can even be struggling against it or trying to otherwise get away. Or at the very least, their energy is not coming back to the first person in turn. So the other way that this is important is in regards to concepts like the law of attraction. I'm not sure that my stance on it exactly fits that idea, but essentially you're in this energetic field and your thoughts and emotions are energies in it, and your thoughts and feelings are able to manipulate your energy to act in accordance with how you truly feel, even if you don't say anything or express it. And other people can sense subconsciously your energetic field and they subconsciously respond to you. And so sometimes, even when you're not saying anything or acting in any particular way on the outside, you get the same kind of reactions from other people. You draw the same types of people to you. Your partner responds in a certain way without you even having done anything or said anything. And that's because on some level, they hear you, so to speak. They know what it is you're really thinking and feeling towards them, especially if you're emanating a lot of negative energy towards a person. They're always just inexplicably mean to you, and of course it makes you dislike them more, and just sort of irritating. Your energy irritates them and makes them kind of lash out defensively. And likewise, you may find yourself irritated by other people for seemingly no reason, and even be confused about why you're responding to a person this way. there's something in that person's mental and emotional field that can inspire that reaction. So it's not 100% all the time that's what's happening. It's just, I find frequently it is, having read so many situations, so many auras, on just observing people. So that's why, one reason why it's so important to work on oneself and on personal healing and being really mindful of what it is you are putting out there, because people do respond to it. The world around you responds to it. And this can even be, even if you don't feel anything negative towards other people, if you feel negative things about yourself, that's also in your energetic field, and people do respond to that, and so does the world. And so when I advise people to work on these things, this is some of the context behind that for why I advise things that I do. So I've mentioned how curses are created, attachments are created, kind of the law of attraction aspect, sort of, and influence. So an extension of that a little bit is influence. Obviously, people respond to us subconsciously. You're also responding to them subconsciously, and this is why some of the behavior that happens, for better or for worse. The other thing is that unless you're actively disconnecting yourself or shielding yourself, or you naturally as a person have a strong sense of who you are and your the sanctity of your being, for most of us, we're being constantly bombarded with waves of the emotional and mental energy of others, especially those we are attached to, like family members, friends, romantic partners, and so on. And so this can create a lot of noise and confusion inside of people. You may be feeling things or thinking things that are not truly what you are thinking and feeling, so to speak. That, or at the very least, it clouds your true feelings and thoughts. This is more likely the case when you have extremely domineering, opinionated, or pushy people in your life. An example would be family members who have very strong opinions about who you are and what you should be doing. A lot of the time that sort of comes across in a very hostile, aggressive way, and it's just like other people's energy pressing in, kind of stifling your own aura. And in terms of what you experience, that can come across as like a lot of anxiety, depression, feeling very confused, your emotions changing a lot, your mind being very noisy, filled with just nonsense or contradictory things, especially things that put you down a lot, negative things. Feeling like you should be or do something and that you're bad for not doing it, or bad for wanting something else, and really feeling in conflict with yourself. A lot of the time, psychic influence can be a culprit. Again, just like curses or attachments, people don't know they're doing it. They feel so strongly that their energy responds and does it. So people influence others just because they as a person are so pushy. And so their energy acts likewise, intruding upon others. And, obviously sometimes just of ourselves, we can be feeling all that negative stuff and have a lot of noise in our head, but you may be surprised how much quieter you are within, and the clarity you can at times gain when you actively reject constant psychic influence from those around you. One clear indicator is if you're having internal conversations in your imagination with people that you know, especially when they're argumentative or repetitive, like, for example, arguing about your mother about the choice of men in your life. It's just an example. Or the decisions you've made, the decision of what to do for a career even. And so it's like having those arguments again and again and again and again, even though either you've already had the conversation, it went however it went, or you haven't. It's just sort of even that anticipation, or just knowing that she's not actually happy with you and feeling all those things you feel about it. And that is at times not really an imaginary conversation, but one that is happening on some energetic level. And so it's really important to kind of reject conversations that aren't really serving you, and to push them away and just acknowledge, you're not willing to give them the response they want. So let it go. And that's sort of an interesting thought that I learned from someone else, actually, Laura Day, and a professional intuitive. And I found it very helpful. And after doing so many readings, I see that quite clearly. Usually it's like this incredibly intrusive energy from everyone else in a person's life. And their energy is so present, it's like right here, and just barely managing to protect oneself, or even worse, the energy is totally clouded and impaled, so to speak. And so this is just an idea of the many ways that we can be affected by other people's feelings, and the way that our feelings can affect others. Even if you happen to be the individual, and it's okay. We're human. It's not like you knew. Even if you had felt so much that you happen to attach yourself in a parasitic way or someone, or inflict excessive psychic influence on another person because of your strong feelings, it affects you. Even the person, obviously it affects the other person, but it affects you too in a negative way, because your energy is being drained through this, and it impedes your life as much as it impedes the affected person. So it's also important to be aware, so you are in control of how you are using your precious energy, as well as protecting the sanctity of your own being and having strong boundaries between you and everyone else in the world. And when you're able to do that, it's easier to really have clarity and focus about who you are, what you really think, what you really feel, and focusing your energy on the things that are actually important to you, and not being pulled down or weighed down by other things, whether it's other people's attachment to you or your attachment to them. There are, of course, healthy ways to engage in this, and positive ways of using your emotions as well. I did bring up all the negative examples of that, because it's such a pervasive issue, at least that I found with all the people I have worked with, that it's worth being aware of. And maybe in a way it's assuming better of those around you, instead of assuming that they are genuinely out to get you and they're all like secretly really powerful sorcerers that are trying to ruin your life with magic. Maybe they just have unhealthy emotional patterns, and if you just establish boundaries in your life, that you can live perfectly well and unimpeded. Some of the positive ways this expresses itself is that if your emotions are strong enough, you can cast blessings without consciously being aware of it. You can bless others that you truly love and care for. You can protect them. And the same thing, if someone feels that strongly about you, it can be a boon, or the love of others can help you lend an energy of success to your life, and to draw abundance to yourself, your own positive feelings towards others, and you get a better response out of other people most of the time, and the world responds to you in a better way, and it really opens up your heart and life to all the good things life can offer. So give it some thought, and just be more conscious about the way you're living and reacting, and the state of being you're existing in. ultimately you manifest the state of being you live in, and so do others. So I hope this has been insightful. Again, just thought I would give some context that I have very frequently shared in my readings and in my work. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.